I understand. Well, can I address that just so you know? I did speak with the chief with regard to that, and the chief did state that he works for the mayor, so he gets to see the mayor here in Phillipsburg every day, whereas he does not get to see the mayor of Alpha every day. So he's able to let the mayor know everything that happens here in Phillipsburg on a daily basis, whereas he doesn't have that opportunity with the mayor of Alpha. That was his explanation to me. I have to take him on it because that's all that's all he provided me with.
All right. You are all pretty much familiar with the camera recording ordinance, correct?
I am.
Mayor? To you? Or you?
You can address me. You have to address me.
All right. I've been doing this for 9 years. I've been told to take my camera to the back of the room. Now I have a mini pod from out here. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of funny now. All you watch WFMT float around this whole room tonight.
Yes.
All around this room.
That was the meeting.
How are you going to handle that now? He's in violation of the ordinance.
I have to go back and take a look at the ordinance then, Mr. Feely, because I'll be quite honest with you, I didn't know that it would apply to the media.
Tripod.
I will take a look at it, but
An ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Feely.
Just a quick clarification on the pilot.
Yes, sir.
So the pilot, because there seems to be misinformation, not only disseminated, and a lot of confusion as to what the pilot's all about. The pilot from the Housing Authority has been in existence since the late 40s, early 50s. It's based on a mathematical formula. In addition to the pilot, the Housing Authority pays a whopping sewer bill quarterly, and we pay taxes on our cell tower. But I sit here tonight, and I've attended other meetings where people get up and they talk about the Housing Authority, and they talk about the children coming out of the Housing Authority, almost with contempt that they're going to the public school system, and that the Housing Authority doesn't pay taxes. There is a state law that says everyone in New Jersey deserves an education, whether you come from the Housing Authority or Hillcrest Boulevard. But just to clear the air on the pilot, it's correct, the pilot goes to the town, and the town disseminates that money as they see fit. But in October, we also conduct a census of every school-age child that lives in the Housing Authority, and that's conveyed to the school district, and there is monies that come to the school district based on the number of school-age children living in the Housing Authority. So when people talk, and again, I could hear the contempt in their voice, like they don't deserve an education. There is monies, while it may not come directly from the Housing Authority, there are monies that go to the school district based on the population of school-age children living in the authority.
Mr. Robertfield, you didn't hear that up here, though, not with council.
Not with council.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. That's definitely not something.
Not with council.
Okay, thank you.
Council President.
Yes, sir.
To elaborate on Mr. Rummerfield's statement, the pilots from Ingersoll, the pilots from Chase, the pilots from Jet Car Wash, and the pilots from CBS, half of those pilots have to go to the county education department, the county.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Melissa Paulus, 26A Glen Avenue. Number one, I'd like to do a shout out to our first responders in the town. I've had a couple of incidents on my street. Number one was with the fire department at the vacant house next to me that I'm attached to. Chief Hay and the fire department, they responded immediately. There was a fire right across the street from my house. Again, between the police department and the fire department, they came within minutes of that being reported, and most recently, Saturday night, a neighbor across the street had fallen. I don't know who the officer was that responded, but his actions actually brought the man back to life. Unfortunately, he did not survive. I think he succumbed to his head injuries. But I do want to recognize the first responders. I don't think they get enough recognition in town. Second of all, as everybody is very well aware, I've had some issues with the vacant properties in my neighborhood. Some of the properties that have recently been acquired that are being cleaned out to be renovated, most notably with the dumpster issues on my street, my neighboring streets. I started emailing the inspections department May 10th with pictures and noting that the vacant properties had overgrown grass. In the meantime, we had gotten a lot of rain. Things got very well overgrown. I emailed on a weekly basis of several properties that needed attention. I was told by the TCO that she had referred it to the newly hired inspector and that he would contact me. Again, I started May 10th, did it on a weekly basis. Received nothing. Until I posted it on Facebook, I got the response from the newly hired inspector. And then I got blasted by certain residents that I have a vendetta or conspiracy against the mayor or whatever. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is, what is the protocol to bring these issues to the town's attention? Because I do believe that it is the town's responsibility, meaning the town employees and the mayor, to address these issues since there are ordinances in place.
I would assume, and then I will defer, it's not because, it's just because I'm not a member of the administration, right?
I understand.
But I have seen some of the emails. I actually got tagged in the Facebook post. I was in Washington, D.C., and I checked Facebook on the way home. Yeah, and Steve, I think I reached out to you that evening. I believe you contact the inspections department, if I'm correct. You speak with Ms. Vaughn, and she dispatches the inspector. And then I would have to defer to the mayor because he does run the municipal building.
I am well aware of your complaints, and I stopped in the code office on multiple occasions to address your complaints. They're either backed up or they're in the process of addressing them, especially the dumpster, the overgrown grass up at the end of Glen Avenue, and multiple others. I can only offer you at this time that three inspectors, with Kevin being the construction code inspector, are having just a difficult time not addressing them, not violating them, getting them to cut it. And if they don't cut it, our DPW is cutting it. And if our DPW is cutting it, they're not picking up trash. We need a better way to get through these properties and cut the grass. I understand my nephew, I'm not afraid to say it, showed up with mowers and weed whackers and all types of equipment, and you did not get one person to help me. I've cut grass. I've gone out with mowers. I've done what I could to do it. We need a stronger code enforcement office. Council has just allocated $50,000, I believe, is that correct? We lost our council president. And that will be put to good use. I meet with them Monday to try to organize a new code inspection system, which may or may not include a consultant. Because we just can't keep up with it. 570 vacant homes, 1,200 buildings with 3,000 apartments. And no disrespect to an apartment owner, but they are not going to take care of their home like you would. And so, yes, we have our hands full, and we acknowledge it. And we're going to do the best we can. I would recommend one thing, and that is when you see those dumpsters, you call the name on that dumpster and find out when that dumpster is supposed to be out of there. That would be a help to our code department.
My personal opinion, as well as in speaking with Chief Hay, you need to amend the ordinance when it comes to dumpsters, but that's totally different.
I don't disagree. They are a traffic hazard, they are an eyesore, and they smell. I mean, yes, there's improvements to be made. Council has afforded us the resources to do it. Monday morning there'll be a meeting.
But again, I started bringing this to the attention of the inspections department May 10th. This was an issue that had been brought up last year, so it's nothing new. But I want to point out that 2 of the properties that I brought to your attention are directly across from the municipal building.
Very
Now-
well aware of that.
Well, again, you're trying to attract investors. You're trying to redevelop the town. How does it look when you bring people into the municipal building, for whatever reason? Right across the street, you have these properties that are not being maintained. You have ordinances in place that would take care of that. Again, this grass, Mr. Fusi could not do the grass. It wasn't that he didn't have help. From what he told me was, some of that grass was taller than him, that there was no way that a mower and a weed whacker was going to take care of it. Your DPW worked on that one property at 113 Fillmore last year for a full day. That lien was $500. I honestly don't believe the DPW worker should be exposed to the conditions that it currently is under.
You've reached your 5 minutes.
Well,
I know. Thank you.
I didn't do half of the talking. I think I was
I
entitled to.
apologize. Did you wish you 45? I
Sorry.
had left the room. Yeah. Is there anyone else?
Tim Berger, 295 Fillmore Street in Phillipsburg. Real quick on the dumpster situation. We can't renovate vacant units and not have a dumpster. Okay, my brother and I just did one up on Fillmore Street. We didn't use a dumpster, we used a dump truck, we worked in the back, but just understand we can't say, hey, we gotta get these places renovated, or, you know, but we don't want dumpsters on the street. Dumpsters, you go up to town hall, you gotta pay for the permits, $15.
True.
You tell them how long the dumpster's gonna be on the street, you gotta put codes on all 4 corners of it, you know, for the traffic, but you gotta have them. Actually, the main reason I stopped here tonight, I was furious. I was furious with Councilman Fulper. I was furious because of the vote for Mayor Ellis. I have the utmost confidence in Mr. Ellis. I have confidence in you too, Mr. Fulper. And I think that's why I was so angry, because I know you better than that. I know a lot of you better than the way everybody's been acting. Somebody mentioned about Facebook. Stay off it. Stay off it. Misery loves company. Stay off it. I got a better idea. Every time you want to go on Facebook, for you religious ones, those who believe in God, you don't have to be very religious, pick up the Bible. Read a passage. You will learn more reading those passages than you'll ever learn on Facebook. By doing that, I'm telling you, I don't want to get all religious later, but I've been going to that Bible a lot for you council members, for the mayor, for our town. You know, we invest a lot of money up on Fillmore Street, my brother and I. Now my other 2 brothers are going to join in. And we want to buy all these shitholes, pardon my language, but we want to put money in them. And when you see the shooting up here that we did, you'll be impressed. We don't even have it on the market yet. We got 5 offers on it. Okay, the value is going up. And you got to get people in there that are willing to put the money and the sweat into them and make them nice, and the people will come in. But to get back to what I said, pick the Bible up. We all, listen, we're not nasty haters. The Bible doesn't allow you to be a hater. So just stay on Facebook, everybody. That's all I'm asking you. Let God in your heart, he'll show you the way. You'll always be right if you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Emil Bresson, 94 Bowman Street. I'll be quick. I just wanted to to give kudos to a newsletter that I received today by email from the town that I think went out to people who have provided their email addresses, and I thought it was very impressive. There was a couple highlights of businesses in town, Taste Buds on Main and Kumi's, along with some updates of things that are happening in town. some new businesses moving into town, and I thought it was a great job.
Thank you, Mr. Britton. Anyone else?
Hi, Stephanie Strausser, 175 Prospect Avenue. Hi. I know that the youth center is going to be providing aftercare service in the fall for our students. And I asked Mayor Wyatt on several occasions about cleaning up the lot that lies between the middle school and the youth center, addressing that person who owns that piece of property. It's always overgrown, the gates are always askew. I really think it's a danger for the kids.
No, I agree. That's the, that was supposed to be housing at one point in time.
Yeah, and it's just been laying empty. And I think now that we're going to have kids consistently walking from the elementary school to the youth center after school because they won't be busing them for aftercare, I really think that needs to be addressed by council.
Okay.
And the other thing I'd like to know is, can you tell us the time span on those overdue loans, when they were acquired? How old is the oldest one and how recent is the newest one?
Years ago.
Long time?
Oh, a long time.
So is that account shut down and frozen now? We're not using that? We're trying
No.
to straighten it out first, or what's happening with it?
Council President, may I?
No, please.
No, Attorney Wenner will be going through the entire file that Attorney Troxel started. He is going to go through it to determine what borrowers need to step up to the.
I mean, I agree that you can't go after people for $100,000 to get a $10 paycheck, but I do agree with Mark that that's a lot of money.
You'll find
And when our
out.
taxes almost exceed where I live, $10,000, and I know Mark has a double lot, I think your taxes are quite hefty where you are too. Exactly, and so I just think that we have a right to find out how prosecutable those people are and to make sure that that fund is not still hemorrhaging.
Believe it or not, there's still people paying $10 a month.
That's outrageous.
It is outrageous.
Okay, anyway, the lot between the middle school and the youth center.
Council President, if I may, the lot
Absolutely.
between the middle school and the youth center is owned by the Ricca family. They were originally scheduled to build senior citizen housing, and it was turned down by the planning board.
Zoning board.
He's paying, zoning board, thank you. He's paying a tremendous amount of taxes. I can't even understand how he can hold on to it. But I want to share something with you. If you look at the youth center property, all the way over to the Phillipsburg Housing Authority, that is the most attractive greenway I've ever seen. You could literally walk from Roseberry Street through the middle school to the youth center without encountering any traffic but Warren Street. It needs to be purchased by Green Acres, but we have a little diversion problem. Somebody sold the Brenziger School and we got to pay for it. Once we get that paid for, you will see Green Acres money coming your way, and he wants to sell it to Green Acres. So,
Well, that's good to know, but I mean, at least if they could clean it up and secure it before our kids are walking back and forth there
I agree.
in the fall, that would be great.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. Okay. We can move forward. Is there anything else here? So there is no personnel discussion. So council will open time, and then I will go with Councilman Lewis.
I don't have anything.
You're very welcome, Councilman. Council Vice President DeGirolamo.
Just two things that came up this week. I got a message that Walters Park is closed to the public Monday through Friday. Is that true?
No.
Okay. And the pool is not opening until July 16th?
Wednesday it'll be open. It's about.
Is that a misprint then?
It is. It's about halfway full right now. We've had problems. Aqua, I'm sure Mr. Berger knows about this. He fills his tub up every day, and it's browner before he gets in than when he gets out. No. But the pool, we cleaned that pool, the sides, the bottom, the ladders, and now it's covered in brown, whatever's coming out of Aqua. But it will be filled by Wednesday, Councilwoman DeGirolamo, and then we'll have to clean it again and filter it. But we will be open at 12 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay, not July. Very good.
Not July.
That's it.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Councilman Davis?
No, gonna show my my bias, but just a big kudos to Sydney Hawkins on her performance at Meet Champions and Nationals.
I'm biased.
For those who don't know, Sydney, in addition to winning the Meet Champions in the 100 meters, also placed third at the New Balance team, National Championship meet in her off event, which is 200 meters. Just an astounding performance from an astounding young woman. Just all the congratulations in the world to her.
And she's the fastest in the state.
Yeah, and I just went, good luck to her on July 1st when all those colleges start college, so good luck.
Thank you. Councilwoman Day.
Two things. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight for whatever reason. Some of you are new, some of you are not. Some of you have been away for a while, but as you can see, even with a very full agenda and a full room, that we had a good night here on the dais. For some that think that it's a partisan council, I'm very proud of our council. I say it from time to time, in spoken word and in written email. There were a few votes tonight that were very mixed up. So as you can see, it is not partisan. It's a smart thinking and working council, and that's what I want to entrust everybody out there, everybody that is beyond out there, to understand. Our names are on here. My political affiliation is not either as Councilman Davis or anyone to my right. So try to keep that in mind. We are working very hard. Speaking of working hard, because we do want to make Phillipsburg a better community. I know there's a lot of talk of the redevelopment. Fantastic. I actually even like Mr. Minor, some of the things he said tonight regarding, keeping what we have. That was a promise I made when I first started running about building, working with what we had from the inside out. With that being said, I just want to, again, reiterate to the mayor that he has my full cooperation in putting together a quality of life conference here with our town, with our department heads and people outside committees, boards, or anyone that wants to help. And what that's going to do is it's going to born a mission statement. It's going to born a strategic plan that we all can work with. People that are employed by Phillipsburg, volunteers, anyone that wants to put their hand on it. So again, I would like to move forward with that because it gives us something to look at, to touch at once something is born out of the documents to get that going. And what I mentioned about the redevelopment is there's a lot of smart people that have their hands on that. I just want to let folks know out there, I know from a personal standpoint, I'm not forgetting about the people on Hill Street that smell that horrible odor all the time, and that everyone up here is trying to work hard to correct that. I got a message earlier from a senior couple up there that never reach out to me, that shocked them and said that, and they are on Hill Street. So that is a problem, and many other problems we have here. And more importantly, I've made a promise it's all of Phillipsburg gets attention. So I may let the very, very intelligent developers and the supporters of the redevelopment move forward. My mind is also set up in different pockets of town. Again, I had 7 addresses. I lived in this town, all over the place. So I will just champion your cause, and if you're not downtown in the redevelopment, I'm here for you to just let you know that whatever problems you have, I implore you, please call me, please email me, stop by my house, or we'll meet somewhere. I'd love to hear it. So thank you very much, and again, thank you for coming out tonight. It's very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I guess, Mayor, the one thing I do want to do is I looked over a complaint that I had earlier today with regard to on Sundays. I guess there's parking issues downtown by St. Philip's and St. James Church. Some cars
There
are having
is.
trouble
Stockton
getting through.
Street is chock full of cars, and Main Street is full. The only lot that's available for parking is back by Howard Street.
Right.
Yeah, I am worried about that. I'm worried about heavy industrial trucks coming down Stockton. The alley's full, and the father has concerns about it. I'm not sure what we can do yet, but
Well, I don't want to start taking it because I don't want God mad at me.
there is one thing. One thing I forgot.
Sure.
We just obtained a lease with Norfolk and Southern on the abandoned railroad bed by Stockton, and strictly for parking.
Really?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, that would be great. The road resident, he was very upset. The second resident wasn't so bad, but I figured I'd bring it up tonight at the meeting.
Is there going to be a
I didn't-
resolution for that?
There would have to be a resolution to adopt the lease, of course.
Is that the Norfolk Southern lease that we
That's the
had?
Norfolk and Southern and Stockton and Cherry Alley.
Okay,
Both east and west. Limited west because the residences, but all the way up to, is it Pachone? Who does the insulation?
Pachone.
Pachone, all the way up to Pachone.
I'll let Councilman Lewis email you with some of the questions that he had regarding the lease. We had gone
Yes,
through it.
he's in power.
Other than that, Mr. Berger, you're 110% correct. Facebook is horrible. Yeah. I gave you that extra 10%, right? Your own daughter, she's shaking her head right now. No, you know what? I got to agree with you with regard to Facebook. And what I will say is to those who either support one person or another, one party or another, man, I logged onto that page, and you know, a lot of people don't know. Steve and I go way back, and you know, when I saw a lot of the stuff being said, like man, we are an ugly society. We're an ugly town right now. We really, really, really need to grow up and move forward. And I mean that in a sense with regard to the comments that are being spewed back and forth. Listen, if the mayor and I can stand up here and have a conversation, our supporters should be able to have the same kind of conversation on social media or out in the mall or we're out in the street. If Councilman Davis and I can have a 20-minute conversation coming home, I'm just cutting out most of the time, but if we can have a conversation, regardless of our party, why can't everybody else? So I'm going to ask our supporters, your supporters, the entire town of Phillipsburg, stop. Because you have no idea who your neighbors are, who's watching. Your kids are reading this stuff. Just stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. I appreciate you coming out tonight. I understand you all came out here to support the mayor. I think it was a heck of a display. Your email system worked. I mean, I'd like to get a hold of that as well. Did I get a motion to adjourn? So moved.
Second.
Good. Have a good evening.